I'm 37 years old. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. But if you clicked on this video and you're a man, I want to share with you the 6 biggest mistakes that I made in my life. If you can avoid these same 6 mistakes, not only is it going to save you time, not only is it going to bring you more happiness and joy, it's also probably going to save you money and heartache in the process. And so these are the 6 biggest mistakes that I've made in my personal life. They've cost me millions of dollars. They've cost me broken relationships. They've cost me mental turmoil and so much other things that I can't even begin to share with you in this video alone. But I don't want you to waste your life. And that's the reason why I'm so serious about these 6 mistakes that I've made in my life. I've wrote them down in my journal and I'm going to bring them to you right now in this video. And so if you resonate at all with any of these 6, please do me a huge favor. Consider liking this video. Also consider sharing this video with another man who may be getting ready to face some of these same mistakes that you are as well. And so number 1, the biggest mistake that I have probably made in my life, or one of the biggest mistakes that have cost me the most amount of mental turmoil, the most sleepless nights, the most restlessness in my soul and my spirit, is don't let the opinions of others keep you in prison. Don't let the opinions of others keep you in prison. A lot of times we start to shape and form our identity based on what other people label us as. Some people may have labeled you smart. They may have labeled you kind. They've labeled you nice. They label you all these different types of things. And these labels start to shape our identity if we allow it. We start to act those things out in our personal lives if we're not careful. Sometimes you may even be called different things, like bad names, like lazy. You may be called stupid. You may be called slow or dumb. And sometimes we start to, again, pattern our life after the labels that we've been called. And so the thing that has cost me probably the most is understanding that people have viewed me a certain way. I started a business when I was 18 years old, when I was in college. And after the first 2 years or so, the business became pretty successful. And this became part of my identity. I identified as a marketer. I identified as a business owner, especially in a specific type of category, selling a specific type of product. And when there were other opportunities that came along for me to pivot, to change, and to do something else that could have made me even more money than I was making at the time, because I was so attached to this identity that I got validation from being this type of person, that I refused to change. I refused to step into the next version of myself because I was so attached to the opinion of other people. And that brings up my second point, and the second biggest mistake that I think that's cost me so much of my life and my time is not understanding that it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change your mind about a thing. When you have new information, when you have chosen to step into a new identity, when you have chosen better for yourself, you don't need anybody else's permission to become that person. You don't need anybody else's permission for you to do and become the person that God has called you to be. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to wake up one day and you want to be a YouTube content creator. The next day you want to be a writer. The next day that you want to do something else. Life is so short. And it's our job to go through life to try to as many different things as humanly possible till we discover what our purpose is, till we discover what brings us happiness, what brings us joy, what brings us fulfillment. And truly, the only way that you're going to get to that place where you're finding true fulfillment is you test a bunch of different things. How will you even know what it is that you really like? I feel like right now at 37, I'm just finding my stride. I'm just finding what the truth is about my purpose is. And I feel like I've just wasted time. And so I don't want you guys to waste not another second, not another moment thinking about what other people may think of you. Just like this video, I'm posting this video, it's going on social media. Most of us live our lives on social media. There may be a thing that you're considering or contemplating doing. Maybe it's starting a business, maybe it's becoming a content creator yourself, and you're thinking about what will your parents think, what will your friends think, or what will people say about you if you have a certain opinion. A lot of us, I find myself sometimes muting myself and not saying what I really want to say, or not speaking up in certain situations, because I know that my opinion may lose me friends. My opinion may lose people who are close to me if I share the truth of the matter of how I really felt, which kind of brings me to the next topic that I want to share. And one of the things that's cost me a lot is that not understanding that there's a true difference between being nice and being kind. That many of us have heard the phrase, the expression that nice guys finish last. And I truly believe that to be true, that sometimes being nice is a manipulation of the truth. Being nice is like when we allow people to walk over us. Being nice is when we don't set true boundaries for ourselves. But being kind is having compassion for people, having an understanding for, their wants, their needs, but also having an understanding of what your wants and needs and desires are as well. And being in a place where you don't compromise on those things as well. And so there's a fine line. But again, most times when you're trying to be nice, whether you realize it or not, most times you're actually being manipulative, because it's like you want people to see you in a specific light. You want people to think a certain thing about you, which is why you're allowing people to walk over you, or why you're allowing yourself to have the lower hand in this particular type of situation. And there's been so many times in my life where, again, you're trying to be nice. Sometimes I've found myself being nice as a way to compensate for some of the insecurities that I have had, whether that's in relationships, whether that's in business. Again, I'll give you guys a specific example. So this was a while ago, I had a person who I really looked up to, and at this particular time, I would even use the word I idolized in business. This person was very successful. They were making multiple six figures per month, and they wanted to work with my company and do a specific type of deal where we were seeing traffic, where we were seeing clicks to their business to help them to make more money, right? And the terms of the deal were bad. And because I idolized this particular person so much, I still accepted the deal anyway. And it caused me turmoil. It caused me to not be as profitable as I could have been in the business, because I just wanted to work with this person so bad. And I kept making up a story in my mind that I'll be able to make the money back, or I'll be able to leverage this friendship or relationship to create more business. And that stuff never really happened, and it never panned out that way. And so again, these are the top three things that have cost me so much. I think that every man, which is number 4 I'm going to talk about, is that every man should learn about these 3 specific things. Number 1, you should learn about human behavior. Number 2, you should be learning about politics. And number 3, you should be learning about money. I think most people may not realize that humans, we're all the same, whether we realize it or not. Again, if you're scrolling on TikTok and you see a video that has millions of views, millions of likes, the reason why that video resonates with so many people is because we've all had a shared experience, or shared moment that connects to those types of videos, right? And so a lot of times, if we are intentional about studying how humans behave, how they think, what type of patterns do they do, we can, in business, prosper by leveraging the understanding of how humans behave. Let's just say that we know that if we have a website that and we sell pins, on our website, maybe out of 100 people who visit our website, there's going to be 5 people who say yes and they need a pen. Now we can do things with that information. We can do things with that data. We can use the psychology behind why people buy the things that they buy to enrich ourselves, to make money from those things. And I think it's one of the things to learn more about. It's going to help you in every single area of life, whether you want to find a spouse, whether you want to find a girlfriend. Understanding human behavior is going to help you in every situation. It's going to help you to make more friends. It's going to help you to be more confident. It's going to help you to show up in the world as a better person when you understand how humans think at a subconscious level. The next thing I would say, again, understanding politics. You have to look out for yourself. The government is not going to look out for you. And so one of the things that we have to learn and spend some time doing and researching every day is what changes are happening and how are these changes going to affect your every single day life. And you can start to strategically do things to be on the offense for the things that are happening in the political scene. Same thing that happens with money. As a man, one of the things that you're going to have to learn how to focus on and begin focusing on is how are you going to provide for yourself? How are you going to provide for your family? How are you going to create wealth? How are you going to be what the Bible says, a good man, and leave an inheritance for your children's children if you don't ever focus on money? And so I've spent so much time. They have these like personality tests where you see what type of color you are. I think if you just Google this, the color test, it will tell you what your motivations are in life. And a person who scores like the color red on these particular tests are people who are like money motivated people. And every time I've taken this particular test, I've scored a blue, which is high on social settings. And that's, for me, I've learned that I've scored this way because I didn't have like a lot of family growing up. And so you have to be able to become self-aware of like what type of person that you are, and so that you don't lose one strength by focusing on another strength, if that makes any sense. For me, I was so focused on wanting people to like me so that I could have more family, that I could have that social component that I was longing for as a kid, that oftentimes I've neglected the money part of life. Okay. And so 2 more things that I think have cost me a lot, that maybe you resonating with some of these things, please leave me a comment below if this is helping at all in any kind of way. I think number 5 is going to be the moment that you discover your purpose, you want to go all in on it. I was sitting here reading my Bible for a moment to try to figure out what is it that I wanted to communicate to you guys. And I was going over my purpose statement, what I believe God has revealed to me as my purpose, and it just clicked. And so for me, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is on this channel, I'm going to be talking a lot more about the 3 things I just mentioned: human behavior, politics, money. Those things I want to give you guys or share with you guys some of the things that I've messed up on, some of the things that I've gotten wrong on, some of the things that I've learned about these 3 areas, because I think these are the 3 most important areas that if we master those 3 areas, and then also if we master our minds, those 4 areas would make us unstoppable men, and we can literally accomplish anything. If we understand how humans behave, we understand the politics, we understand money, and then we also understand our own self, our own mind, we're literally unstoppable. And so the last thing I wanted to say is this one has cost me a lot, not understanding that it doesn't make you less of a man to ask for help. It doesn't make you less of a man to need other people to help you in certain situations. A lot of times we try to figure things out on our own. We try to figure things out in our own strength. And those things end up costing us so much time. They end up costing us more money when we could have literally gone to someone who's already experienced what we've experienced or what we're about to experience, gotten their wisdom, and basically saved ourselves so much more time and not having to go through the same things that they went through. And that's why, for me, one of the things that I am eagerly and so excited about doing is helping men, number one, identify what their purpose is, but also number two, being able to create businesses around your purpose so that you can spend your time going all in on what your purpose is. And so if you're a man, if you made it this far, if you made some of these 6 mistakes and you want to have some type of change in your life so that you have a better life in 2025 than you did in 2024, I would love for you to text the word purpose to 702-608-1689. I'll send you some information of what we're doing with men this year in 2025 to help them identify their purpose and to create a business around their purpose that not only benefits them, but also benefits society. And so with that being said, these are the things that I made a mistake on. I pray that you don't waste as much time and as much money as I have wasted in my life. Again, if you have gotten this far in this video, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be back with more videos later today.